Well, hey there, friend. Step right in and grab a figure. And welcome to the Pret Pool Channel. Here at the Pret Pool Channel, let's talk about the new action figure I got. Let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. Maybe you might like how it looks, or maybe how it moves with its joints, or maybe you like the stuff it comes with. But no pressure, my friend. Just enjoy the show today, right here at the Pret Pool Channel. So go on and give us like, or be bold and click subscribe. After all, it's a free ride to the Pret Pool Channel.
Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Pret Pool. Thank you for clicking on my video. We're going to be doing a review of Operation Monster Force, and this is a big bag toy store line, and we're going to be reviewing one specific character, which is going to be for the Eraser. And basically this character is the Invisible Man. He apparently is on the bad guy side of things. He's the assassin, the undercover espionage character for the bad guy side as of this moment. So here we got the box here on display. Over here we got some of the items that he comes with. There's a little baggie with more stuff that he comes with. So just a really quick look at the box itself. As you can see, it's got on the image of the partial of the figure in the front. It's got a Lieutenant Griffin, the Eraser on this side. Same on this side. On the back, it's got a larger picture of the figure, and then a bio. So if you're interested, we can maybe pause and if it clears up. Let's see. It's not focused. There we go. If you're interested in reading his bio. And then it does have an open lid front, which kind of has a brief comic book of this line. And then you'll have a window here in which you will have a tray with the figure showing in there. And he has, the box has an insert that you can use as a diorama. So that's pretty neat. So you can just slide it out. And many lines do provide this. It's like a lab. So I'm assuming this is where he conducted the experiment. He is supposedly, I believe, the son or grandson of the original Invisible Man. But I'm assuming this might be the lab where all the chemicals are to make him invisible. But it's pretty neat because you can use this, obviously with other figures for other, if you like photography with pictures. So let's go ahead and real quickly look at the figure itself. So I'm going to go ahead and grab him. So as you can see, he's the Invisible Man. He's pretty neat. Up close, see, as you can, let's check. See, here's the head articulation. If you go forward this way, it's not too bad. Back is a little hindered. I mean, his arm rotation does get the T-pose, so that's pretty cool. His leg, you can move up there. He does have a drop down, so you can do that. Back, not so much. You're getting quite a bit. I bet you can't see the figure. So let me see. Hey, can you make yourself visible for me? There we go. So yeah, now you can see it. So, going back, you get quite a range here. You can move him forward. He does have another joint here on the neck. So he has one on top of his head. And he has one down here. Looking back. Actually, he does, he looks pretty far back. And his neck does come off. And that's on purpose, because later I'll show another accessory he comes with. His gear is supposed to come off also. Again, he can get large range as far as the T-pose, as with his arms. That's pretty neat. Legs, quite a bit. As I mentioned, he has a slight drop down, not too much, but does have it there. Can't go too far back. His buttocks block him. He does have double jointed knees. Due to sculpt and so forth, he can't really go too far, at least mine doesn't. He does have double jointed elbows. That does go quite a bit, so that's pretty good range. Pinless joints, T-pose with the legs, so that's pretty neat, pretty good, not bad. As far as ankles, he doesn't have any boot rotation because he has again, his pants are like along, the long pants, so it doesn't have there, and it is slightly hindered by the cuffs here, or the bottom part of his pants. So you have a rocker, but you have to kind of like swivel it a little bit more, where the pants would go under his boot or inside his boots in order to succeed in getting the rocker. But still, it's better than what I've seen in other figures that had similar sculpting. Speaking of sculpting, this guy has amazing sculpting on his wraps. Now, there's already been 2 versions of this figure out. They were translucent. There was like a smoky clear version, and I believe it was like a purple version to match, I guess, these vials here. So we finally get a full painted. So this seems to be the clear in which they painted the wraps, because you can see his eyes, or cannot see his eyes because he's invisible in there. So that's pretty cool that they did that. So you can actually see that like his hollow man. There you go. He also has translucent wrist, or right here, this area. So that's pretty cool. So that's only as far as on him that's translucent off the bat on the figure. His eyes and also his wrist area here. So that's pretty neat. Now, accessories. I'll go over most of them because he has a lot of accessories. I recommend this figure. Him and other ones that I've noticed on their site come with a lot of accessories. Like again, he's one of them. So if you notice here, he's got this tombstone, which works as a stand or as a display. So you can have that like this. Or if you notice here, you have the pegs for him to stand. He has 2 pegs here, and you put it this way, and it'll work as a stand, and you can stand him up, and it'll have his name on there. So you can display all your characters if you decide to get into this line that way, or you can just really have a pretty neat tombstone. He has, let's go with his weapons. He comes with his rifle, which is pretty neat. Doesn't have too much paint apps on there, if any at all, but it's a nice, decent rifle with a grenade launcher on there. His clip does come out in the back, so it's pretty neat. It's kind of like something I will kind of imagine seeing with G.I. Joe, most like Cobra side, I would think, but it's pretty neat. So let's put that here. He has this other kind of SMG type weapon, also just all black, and these are again made by Gridiron Studios, so pretty awesome weapons that they come with. His suppressor does come off, so that's pretty neat. So you can have the weapon display this way, and you can just put it back on. Ammo clip also comes out, and it also shows the bullet on there. That's pretty neat. I think this one too. I didn't display that. No. So the other one doesn't have a bullet, or it's not painted on there. So, but the other one does. Then he has 2 pistols. He has a smaller one and a larger one. Trying to get this clip back on. Give me 1 second. There we go. He has this larger pistol. Okay, and he has a holster on his right leg that he can put it in. So it's right here. And it fits. Let's see, first time you're trying to put it in. Let's see. Yep, and it fits nice and snug, so you don't have to worry of it falling out. Well, I'm going to leave that in there. He does have an extra ammo clip, and this will go for the SMG. Okay. Then he has, let's see what I put. Oh, he does have this smaller pistol. Okay, all black. And then he has this sheath that's for a knife, and he does on his vest is modular, so you can take certain pieces out and replace them, and make your character more unique to your liking. The knife, it's all black with a black shine to it. I would have liked, of course, like a gunmetal or silver on the knife. I never really cared for when knives are just all one color. So, but it is what it is. And as far as the sheath for this, it goes in nice. Actually, it's a nice snug fit, so you don't have to worry about it falling out. He does have this kind of like this other holster. Okay, so this would go, again, is modular. So if you, instead of having the pistol on his leg, you can probably put on his vest and have it there instead. He has, if you take off his gear, his vest on the top, you can always replace it with this smaller one, which has a holster for the smaller pistol, which you can put that in like so, and there you go. So you can use it for him, or if you have another character that you want to use this or customize, so you got extra fodder to use for another character. He has then these two little things that you can put. One is for his allegiance to, again, for the bad guys, who he belongs to. And then he has this with some wording on it. It might be upside down. Can't make it out too well. Let's see. Let's try just a little bit more. I don't want to spend too much time on this. Yeah, it's hard to focus. It's very small lettering on here. I can't really make out right now what it says. But there's that. And I haven't tried putting on his vest yet, these things, so I don't know how loosey-goosey these things are. So going back to the figure, you have goggles that you can put on. So if you want to hide his invisible aspect of his eyes, and also maybe increase his vision at night, you can do so. So it fits pretty well. Take those off. He has his hands. Again, he has a bunch of hands he comes with. He has 2 fists, 2 kind of knife holding or object holding. So these aren't the trigger ones or anything like that. So these would be like, again, holding different objects that are not guns, but more like knives, clubs, or other objects. He does have already on the ones with the trigger, and those go up and down. Okay. He does have, as far as the gloved hands, kind of like a reachy out expressive hands. Okay. Now let's see, as far as taking off his hands, he has, when you take out the hands, he's going to have like some cuffs here. So you will have to take those off. Be careful not to lose the cuffs, because again, this is removable. And you can put a wrap around his wrist area, like so. And then you can just put, again, it's going to be a little tricky, so you kind of have to have the wrap over the hand and then put that back on. There you go. Easy peasy. You just have to be careful, if those of you that have rugs that are, shaggy, that you don't lose this. All right, so then, you'll have like that. You have different pieces that you can use. There is this baggie, and it'll have your blast effects and a whole bunch of clear hands. So if you want to show him As far as more invisible with his hands, you can use these hands instead. I'm not going to go through all of them, but you pretty much have the same ones. The only main different one or additional that I noticed, instead of the reachy out grabby hands, he does have kind of like a salute chop type hands instead of the long grabby ones, or expressive ones. So he has these instead for replacing the glove reachy outs. Here you notice, or in this baggie, you'll have a neck piece. So if you get this figure, you can have this neck piece. It has a joint. So far it came out pretty decent for me, the neck. Didn't have much of a struggle. Now putting the clear one on, that seems to be a challenge. So I know other reviews also had similar issue. They had to heat it up. So, and I'm not going to force any more, but the idea is that this goes in here. Okay, and then he comes with an extra head, which is the invisible clear one. And you will pop the head on the neck. And right now both are very difficult to do. I can't get this onto the ball joint or the neck into the ball joint down here. So I will have to heat it up. But just to give you FYI on that, once you get your figure, if you get this figure, you're going to may have some difficulties changing it up. So I got the head on the neck, but I think it's not on right. And it's supposed to look something like this. All right, so there's that. But I was planning to keep him on with the wrapped head anyway, so I'm going to put this clear head with the neck, put it in the baggie, and in some other days might put that head on there, but that's not the look I want to display with him anyways. I like the wrapped version more, so I'll put that back on, and that actually is a much easier pop to put in. And so I'm just going to now go ahead into the part in which I do comparisons. I do want to put his goggles on. I do like him with the goggles, give him more of that mysterious look. And I'm going to put his other wrap on his other arm. So put this, the other hand, and there we go. Oh, and then as far as this vest, it is removable. You do have a slot and a peg they can put here, like his knife or something. And as far as removing this vest, I believe it's right, there we go, it's right here. And it follows the same theme, his whole body. So that is pretty cool. Something similar to Firefly from G.I. Joe, from the Cobra side, but a lot more intricate. So I like that. Now let's see, is it hard to put it back on? Because that's something that happens with Valor sometimes. You'll take the vest off and then putting it on is a headache. And this is not, this seems to be kind of like similar scenario. It's not as easy to, once you take it off, to put back on, because it's like a very rubbery material. So it will be something you have to take time. So again, since I'm doing a review, I don't want to take too much time on here showing that. But those are two things so far you have to be mindful for if your with your figure is changing the neck and head from the clear. From this to the clear. And if you want to take off the vest and put it back on, whatever, it's, you're gonna have to take some time to do that. All right, so now we'll do some comparisons. Now I don't have any really other figures from this line except for one, and I don't really consider him that much from this line because he originally was done by another company, and that's from Maestro Union. So this is Kilowog. So this is their werewolf, but they used from Maestro Union this mold to use on this character. Let's see if I can get him to stay. There we go. Okay, and they're supposed to be on the same team. All right, there we go. So better size comparison. And let's put another creature next to him. Let's go and put a predator that most likely you'll be able to see this guy with his mask regardless if he's invisible because of heat signatures and so forth. So Invisible Man will have a hard time against a predator. All right, get those guys out. Now let's put Marvel Legends. Let's go with the still creature theme. Let's put Blade. All right. There'll be a Blade. Let's move him up a bit. Okay. Blade, Invisible Man. There we go. Just for fun of it, semi-military theme. Let's go with Cammy from Jada Toys. There we go. And one more comparison. So we're going to do now Valaverse. This is Bone Collector. And let's go ahead and put Range Viper from G.I. Joe. All right, so yeah, they look pretty cool together. They got similar as far as accessories in a way. I'm not as far as all the items, for example, that Operation Monster Force G.I. Joe doesn't have as much. I'm talking about as far as the look. They will look, you know, I would think. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to get at, but I do. All right. Just one last note I want to make. So these figures from Operation Monster Force, they're currently $39.99. I always like to throw in, you know, what it costs with shipping and taxes, because at the end of the day, your bank account doesn't care what it's just coming out of your account. So your $39.99, $4 shipping from Big Bag Toy Store, about, depending where you're at, and say another $2 to $3 of tax. So we're looking close to $47 for one of these figures, and that's across the board. They don't have like Valaverse where you have a $19.99 figure, then you have a, you know, say $30 figure, and you have a higher end type figure. So all across the board. This figures like the Eraser, Van Helsing, some of their troops, or most of their troops, you know, come with a lot of accessories, and you get more bang for your buck. Now, if you look at Dracula, the Pharaoh guy, the secret agent guys, they don't have a whole lot. They just come with some guns, hands, a few heads, and that's it. Not a whole lot of gear. So you have to judge for yourself. Do I really want to spend close to $50 on those type of characters, or something like Eraser? Along those lines, we comes up tons of stuff, and you'll feel like you're getting more just money's worth. So that's, again, personal decision. Also, another note, like their army builders, the regular guys, not the zombified or the vampires type characters. If they're just the regular army guys, do I want to army build $50 figures, or do I want to go to Valaverse or G.I. Joe, where I can get some army builders way cheaper? But now the quality of this figure so far in hand is a very solid figure. It's more comparable to Valaverse. There's no gumminess to it. I feel that is, you know, really good quality. I do, again, the one QC issue was the neck. It's not very easy to transition. Now, I just got this G.I. Joe. Okay, so this is the their 60th anniversary Halo altitude, jumper. And he comes with a lot of accessories also. These guys run about retail price without, you finding at Ross and, other discounts, whatever. Retail price, originally these figures came out at $34.99, $5 less than that. So, but I got him today at Ross for $18. So, but you can customize him. You can make an army builder because he comes with a bunch of accessories. So what I'm trying to get at, just kind of chop around as far as you're trying to army build figures. What is best for you? So just a little tip I'm just sharing. Something to consider. So this is $34.99 retail price, original price. This is $39.99. This is kind of like the higher end G.I. Joe with more accessories than your average regular G.I. Joe, which right now we're looking at what, $27.99 they went up to, if I'm not remember correctly. I think they went up to $27.99. So again, just think about what you want. I got Eraser because he's an Invisible Man. He's unique. I'm not going to army build him. And I think he fits well with other creature characters that I have built a squad with. All right, so enough of me rambling. Just hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. It's deeply appreciated if you do so, but no obligation, just like anybody else. If you just frequently like to watch my videos, just please continue to do so. It's much appreciated again. And keep collecting, enjoy the hobby. Let's all respect one another's our likes and dislikes, and hope to see you soon. Hope you see you in my next video. All right, take care. Later.